And we're back. Welcome to IJDM, and I've been working a long time with this one, and I'm shooting the intro now, and I actually have a chance, and I just noticed the leg on my little camera here is showing in the frame, but heck with it. We're just hanging out and doing stuff. Today's topic.
Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right! Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
Yeah, we are doing this. I'm not going to get into intricacies and details about the rise and fall of Blockbuster. There's plenty of videos on that. I am going to talk about something more personal, that I actually did work for Blockbuster, and actually did work for 3 different stores, 2 owned by the same group, because some of them were franchised, and then one from another group up in another state. But yeah, I have these things, and they are for real. And yes, I know they sell on eBay for sometimes ridiculous prices. I mean, totally ridiculous prices. But yeah, there's the 3 name tags I have left. I have no idea what happened to the other one. Oh, hang on, wait. I have something else. I have these too. Why didn't I didn't even have that ready. That's why we do these off the cuff sometimes, because it makes it even more fun. Yes, I have the magnets that go on your fridge. And I think I have a bunch more of these somewhere stashed away, but I don't know how I kept them or whatever. But there's a story behind all this, and I'm going to get started because this is kind of my story about experiences at Blockbuster, and kind of, I'm not going to go into details, but kind of where I started, a little bit of history. I will include that, where it started, where it came from, and where I came into the picture, and then moving forward into more modern times. We know obviously its demise, and I think there's only 1 store left as of making this video, somewhere in Oregon or Oregon or whatever however you want to say it. But this starts the video of why I actually have not been present for the last few weeks. And this is the reason why, because I've been working hard on this one, and I usually don't pre-produce, but I had to do it on this one. It was just too much. And yes, my name is blanked out for obvious reasons, because, you know, if everybody knows, I don't want my name mentioned on the channel. I like to kind of remain anonymous. The stars of the channel is what I feature on the channel, which I think makes it even more special, because I'm basically like the guy in the football game. I'm just making commentary on it, and we're just hanging out, and that's all there is to it. So let's get started and see what we got. And most of this is going to be like photo captures I pulled off the internet and stuff. And I have something special, because the Blockbuster I worked at, and this is actually my original name tag. It actually is, with the yellow thing they did at that particular store, and it did get worn out, because at one point, I don't know how it got dragged across the store, but I actually have the thing, if it got lost on the back, that I don't know if the manager did that or I did that or whatever, but you could clip it on. Yeah, well, yeah, is what it is. But yeah, and these name tags all have a certain story to them, and how I have them, and why they're still in my collection. Well, that's another video I'm going to cover in another time, but here we go. Let's get started. And away we go, as the great Jackie Gleason would say. Let's just get this started. I'm not gonna do screen captures and everything I had planned for this, and I'm gonna go totally off the cuff, and rather than doing a whole like write up on it, I just want to get this video out, because it's been a while and I've been working on this for a while. I just want to get this out. And we all know the demise of Blockbuster. There's 1 left. It's in Oregon, Bend, Oregon. That's it. They're gone. It's a bygone era. Things of Redbox and Blockbuster not stepping into different things and being reluctant, and some of their weird stuff. They made mistakes in the past that left them with bad brand recognition and things going on. I don't even want to get into that. If you want to watch a video on that, there's plenty on why the rise and fall of Blockbuster happened. I don't really want to get too into that. I want to get into why I'm doing this video, and that's the nostalgia of it. It's pure nostalgia, because I worked in a store in Liverpool, New York. It was actually located on Oswego Road. And the funny part is, and I was going to save this for later in the video, is actually like the Blockbuster I worked at. I found the photo, and this is the store. It's in Liverpool, New York, off of Oswego Road. I think you turn off a John Glenn Parkway or whatever in the Syracuse area, and this was the store I worked at. Had many great friends there. We all trained at the same time. The store was opening. We set up the store. We put the little folios in, and we did all this stuff. We had to put these covers in and print them out. And I mean, it was a fun era, and it was just one of those things. And late, I had 2 other jobs at other Blockbusters, but it was never the same. It was more kind of corporatized, even though this was like a franchise situation. But it was a great place to work at, and obviously this is what they tried but didn't work, and this is no particular order, and just kind of jumping around. And the membership cards, like I showed in the beginning, they'd usually give you a laminated card, which surprisingly I don't have any left, and you can't see because I have everything dimmed for my screen, but they give you a laminated card, and that was your permanent card for a while. But eventually they went into these corporate type cards they would mail you, like a credit card, and you could use them in any store. And there was actually like a modem in the back that would dial in and pull your information into the computer system for that store. So it would usually take about, anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds to get your information in there, and then you were good to rent at that store. And in the back they had the server with the printer and so forth. It was definitely one of those things. And I mean, you recognize all the storefronts and different things. Even the doves are crying like, why is Blockbuster gone? I mean, if they just changed a few things, so they tried. Believe me, they did try. They tried to keep alive the best they could and different things. And yeah, I'm gonna have to end with that screen because I don't think I ever would have worked at a store that looked quite like that. And I did work at one in Florida. This is actually when they were closing, and I think they were part of the last cluster that closed that were owned by a franchise. They were franchised. There was corporate and there was franchise stores. I believe all the ones I worked at were franchised, which just means there's certain different rules and stuff. But you can tell from the cars that obviously this was taken a while ago. And yeah, this was definitely one I worked at. I mean, I recognize the store. It's still there in Florida. And, the POS system, yeah, it appeared in blue, but it was very much like a Unix, Linux-based system that was all text. It was all commands. There was no mouse. You entered it, and it was extremely fast. It always worked. I don't ever remembering, like, when you go into stores now, like, oh, our system's updating or waiting for the screens, like, never had any problems. They had a great POS system, which I wish they had resold in later years. And I am going to cover some video rental software because I always dreamed of having like a video rental store. Blockbuster wanted like $1 million minimal investment to open a store. So obviously I could never do that. But it was just kind of one of those things I collected over the years and working at different places, which I'll cover in another video, especially if there's interest in this one. But this is one of the newer screens that they used. It actually had color, a little bit of color, but it still had the PF commands and using a terminal-based thing, and then obviously the cash drawer connected underneath it. But another one of the tapes, I do not remember the blue tapes. I think somebody might have mocked this up, but I do remember the Red Hunt for October was red originally, and then the firm had some green or something in it. But that's all I remember on that note. But there's the one in Bend, Oregon, still open. So if you're in that area or you live somewhere near it, take the road trip, go in there, because it is a unique experience visiting these old stores. Even like the Radio Shacks, which there's more than one of those still open. It's a unique experience going in some of these stores that are still like franchise owned. They still keep open, and it definitely a fun thing. Well, my store didn't look like this, and our shirts were like, I think, a lighter color. We didn't have the yellow in them. They were more plain looking, but I think this is when they started changing the shelves and they started changing stuff. But these are the shelves I remember, like the kind of the white, off-white color. And yeah, man, you had to dust those things off. And unlike some of the smaller video stores, they actually kept the tapes in behind the covers, and they don't want them all even. So let's say you would have 8 of them across or 7 of them across, then the tapes would be behind. But if we had to make space, then we would double them up, and it was always a fun experience. trying to sort those and having fun. I mean, yeah, we had the cover box fights and stuff after hours, and when we have to scan inventory, always a fun situation. Obviously, a later picture, but it does have. I do notice in the photo he does have one of the older name tags, so maybe they reused them again. I'm not really sure because I know name tags kind of went out the window. And the last one I'm going to save is, I think this is the store I worked at. I can't be totally sure. I think the door was more over this way, but it looks almost identical. I mean, no, actually, you know what? This is not my store because we had a drop ceiling and one of my name tags actually was in the ceiling until they cleaned the lights out for nearly 2 years. So this looks like a solid ceiling, but the store looked pretty close to this with the way it was set up and the way it was arranged. And you know, it is what it is. But anyhow, that is my story of Blockbuster. And as you know, they just went away. And nothing we can do about it. It was there, it's gone. You still have a chance to visit the last one. Would I book a plane trip and spend all the money just to go visit the last one? No. But it's a bygone era, and it was a fun era. And it was like, yes, we did get videos for free. New releases were a little tricky. And Blockbuster did some shady things with 2-night, 3-night. If it was a newer video, it was 2 nights and 3 nights. But then 3 nights, it was like you had to turn in by noon on the next day. So there was some sketchiness on checkouts and things we had to deal with. But, I mean, it was never an issue where people would start getting angry other than with the membership cards, where sometimes with the membership cards, if you didn't have a credit card, a legitimate credit card to present down, they would charge a $50 or $100 deposit. And that's just to make sure you get the videos back. And understand on this era of videos that these videos these companies don't buy them for like $15 a piece. Some of these videos could cost upwards of $100 to $200. So they had invested in these and they had to make sure they had a way to get them back. And that was the idea with the deposits and different things that went in that era. And if you're one of those people like, oh man, I didn't have a credit card, I could never get the Blockbuster card in my store. And some of the stores I don't think even did the deposit thing. I think only the first store I worked at may have done it. Maybe not. But it was just one of those things that was like, it's just to protect their investment. And they sometimes did good stuff, sometimes did bad stuff, just like any other company. But that is my story of Blockbuster Video. I hope some of my personal experiences came through. I didn't really fully cover my Florida experience because it wasn't the same. I kind of started later on in its life, and the owners were not quite the most friendliest people and didn't take to me so well. So I really look back to the fond days of when I went to college in Syracuse area and worked at the store, and all the good friends I made and people I hung out with, I still talk to occasionally today. So it was definitely a different era in my life that I felt was worth mentioning, kind of sharing kind of a personal side to me. Even though you don't know my name, you know what? Sometimes it's just fun to hang out and take a look at some of the stuff. And this concludes this edition of IJDM. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe, hit like on the video, anything you can do to tell your friends about it. I do have a Twitter account. I have set up a Patreon account because I want to bring you more videos like this and not so pre-produced like other channels. I just kind of do this off the cuff. I am a professional video producer. I've done television, movies, I've done everything, but this is kind of a thing I just do for fun and just hanging out because it's one of my interests and I love doing it. So let's see where it goes, and for now, thanks for watching.